Hello and welcome to this month's orientation call. So, this whole session is to give you a little bit of a taste test of what is in the Good Food Network for the month. It plays two parts. It plays first the role of giving you an idea if this is something that might be of benefit to you, to try to figure out, first of all, if you would qualify or if you're the right person for this kind of place. Second of all, it also serves as a tour behind the scenes. So it's like an open door. Like we do open doors here at the Good Food Network once a month. We open the door to show you what's happening in the network and how to move around. So it's part orientation for people once they join us. And it also serves as, yeah, that the I want my goal with this is for people who need this to go, oh, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I've been looking for. So, hi, I'm Luca. I'm your holistic nutrition gal. And I've been doing this since 2014 when I graduated from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. I love food. I've got a pot of soup simmering in the background. Actually, I've just turned it off. That will be awaiting us for supper once we wrap this up. Because here's the deal. While this is being recorded on Tuesday morning in Alberta, it's Tuesday evening where I am because I've relocated. I'm in the Netherlands. It's a lovely place to be, and happens to be supper hour, and the sun has just about set. So let's get into things. I've got some great questions for you that you may want to ask yourself, and then I'm going to take you through what it looks like when you join the Good Food Network. So listen, I love the whole idea of whole foods, real foods, dismantling this war talk we have with food, and inviting food in to do the repair. So there's a lot of thought to this health and wellness industry to think about like, okay, well, I'll just omit all of these foods. I just received an email from someone who said, I'm really disappointed. All of your low histamine stuff has very high oxalate count foods. So that's not going to work. You don't know what you're talking about. To which I respond, okay. Yeah, well, oxalate can be a trigger for some with histamine release. It's not a trigger for everybody. So for those for whom it isn't a trigger, it's not right to make it be a terrible food that we should be afraid of. So a lot of what I do here at the Good Food Network and with my one-on-one work and the work I do with Histamine Haven is to dismantle the fear around food. Make it accessible. I call my company Good Food and You because I want to bring you with the good food and bring it together so that it can be a delicious venture. See, that's the goal. So, in the month of December, we are covering content that is going to dive deep to help you build a happy microbiome. Regardless of what else you've got on the go, we're going to make it accessible to everybody, and we're going to talk about different ways in to support the microbiome. How do you know you have microbiome issues? All right, I got 10 questions you can ask yourself. How do I know if my microbiome is struggling? Item number one on the list, do you have skin stuff? Do you struggle with acne, rosacea? Eczema is another big one. Psoriasis, I will add to this list. Acne, like, wait a second, I'm perimenopausal. How come I have acne issues right now? Yeah. Do you have hives, itchy skin? That's another way that it could show up. Now, microbiome item number two. Do you have any mood related struggles? Do you struggle with low moods or anxiety, either ends of that spectrum? Number three, do you struggle with insomnia? Would it surprise you to know that the microbiome plays a key role in a lot of those, I call them recipes, for your body to do the thing to get you to sleep? Yeah, your microbiome plays a very big part, actually, in the role of sleep. So if you struggle with insomnia, I would question, how's your microbiome? Number four, do you have digestive stuff on the go? Are you farty? Are you gassy? Can you clear the room with the stank from your bum cheeks? Yeah, this used to be my superpower. It's not around anymore, which is so great. Are you even, so I would go so far as to say the digestive stuff can also translate to, do you have troubles pooping? Is it like I poop 17 times a day, Luca, or I poop once a week, or somewhere in between? Are you not pooping every day? That's constipation. That, my friend, has a microbiome piece to it for sure. Number five. This is an interesting one, and I think a lot of people underestimate this one. The list of foods you cannot tolerate is getting longer. Oh, I can't tolerate that. I'll just take it out. I find it so interesting when people go to different types of practitioners and do a food sensitivity quiz or test, IgG test, to identify what are those foods they're reacting to. And then they take them out for a short time and then they'll reintroduce them later. Oh, okay, pause a second there. If you're reintroducing them later, what did you do in the meantime? Did you do anything in the meantime to make it so that those foods will not create the problems they were creating before? No? Well, then how do you think you're going to be able to bring in more of those foods back in? Just omitting them for a time does not fix the issue. A lot of what we do in the Good Food Network is about the foods that do the repair. So, are you doing the repair pieces? That's my question. Okay, number 6. Do you struggle with cavities or gum disease? Have you had a history of cavities on the regular in your youth? Here's a microbiome piece, pal. Number 7. There's like 18 contributors to this one, but microbiome is one of them. Brain fog. Yeah, brain fog because so many of the chemicals we make for our brain to function and our cognitive function to work well are made in the gut. By whom, you ask? Your microbiome. Oh, yeah, how's that going? Maybe you should come into the Good Food Network. All right, that's number 7. Number 8. Do you have an autoimmune condition or does your immune system struggle? Do you get all the colds and flus that come your way? Or have you been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition? There's a really, really big part to play here with the microbiome, interestingly enough. Number 9, do you struggle with bad breath? No. Yeah, microbiome related. You have a microbiome from your gums to your bum, and the microbiome shifts in different areas. So your mouth microbiome is different than what you'd have in your large intestine, is a little bit different than what you'll have in your esophagus, is a bit different from what you'll have in other areas of the body. But bad breath for sure can be one of those telltale signs. And number 10, this one, anybody who's had this will go, oh, that's what happened. Huh. Have you ever struggled with a brain concussion, motor vehicle accident, or some type of head trauma where you hit your head? Whether there was a concussion or not. Was there a really big blow to the head? Was there some type of trauma to your brain? Okay, go back to when that happened and think around that time. Did you or did you not also have a really big shift in your poops? Did they come more frequently? Were they less frequent? Did you get more diarrhea, more constipation? Did everything shift in your gut? Did you start to get stomach pains? Yeah. Do you know that when there is a brain injury, a millisecond after impact comes a massive wipeout of your microbiome? It's part and parcel what happens when there's a head trauma because of the information that gets sent to the gut from the brain as a result of that concussion or motor vehicle accident or head trauma, whatever sort it is. Yeah. So if you've ever had a concussion, a trauma to the head or a motor vehicle accident, honey, you need to rebuild the microbiome as part of what has happened in order to help that function a little bit better. It's very much the same thing as why there's brain fog and there's a gut component to brain fog. It's very much the same work. So out of those 10, how many did you say yes to? If you said yes to at least one, I think you should join us in the Good Food Network. Wherever you're watching this video, you're going to get a link just below to join us if you want to. We'd love to have you in there. I'll tell you a little bit more what you can expect in the network in a millisecond, but I want to give you more ideas to think about because there's more than just the 10. How else might you know that your microbiome is struggling? Ready? Okay, we talked about all those. Oh yeah, do you have IBS, IBD, celiac, Crohn's disease, colitis? You have a microbiome component to it that needs some rebuilding. Do you have, I shouldn't say that, the meat baby? You know, when you eat a steak and you're like, oh, I can't handle the steak. I can't eat steak. I just can't digest it. It just keeps me full for a long time. Spoiler alert, meat is supposed to keep you full for a long time. There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we talked about that, talked about that. Oh, is your energy tanking? Do you have hampered energy, like where there's like you're having struggles to get through the day? It can show up as brain fog is one of the ways, but the other way is the stamina piece. Are you waning with that stamina of getting things done? I used to get so much more done, and now I just need a nap. Yeah. Do you have nervous system troubles more than just the mood piece? Do you struggle with maybe even OCD? Or do you have a diagnosed condition that impacts your nervous system? So I'm thinking ALS, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. Yeah, those types of things, 1,000,000%, is it possible? Yes, it is. Have a microbiome component to it. Yeah. And so we're going to be doing lots of things for the brain and nervous system this month in particular, actually. Do you have blood sugar balancing issues? Do you struggle with balancing blood sugars? If you say yes to this, pal, the microbiome has a really big role to play, especially if it's something that kind of runs in families. So if you can identify that family members before you very clearly had blood sugar balancing issues, honey, there's a microbiome piece contributing to things. Are you a slow detoxifier? Do you have liver issues? Your microbiome is also struggling. Yeah, do you have weight gain? Are you sporting the best muffin top in town? I am. You aren't. Too bad. I win. But yeah, that is a massive, massive indicator of microbiome issues. It is the one piece that I got so much benefit from when I started going into nutrition was I think the shift to my microbiome based on the pieces and recommendations I was putting in place for myself. It has benefited my microbiome, which in turn has actually benefited everything else that I've ever struggled with that I didn't realize were all connected. The microbiome is the one that connects everything in the body because it's via the gut. And it has an impact on hormones and it has an impact on your brain and nervous system function, how you can tolerate and handle stress, how it impacts liver and detoxification, how it impacts blood sugar balancing and all metabolic function, as a matter of fact. Microbiome, pal. Microbiome, microbiome, microbiome. What else do we have here? Any metabolic stuff that isn't up to snuff. So if you have thyroid struggles, anything to do with energy, if you've got deep fatigue, and estrogen mediated symptoms, hot flashes, tender breasts, periods that are just super painful. All of these, if you were a client of mine and you said yes to any of these, I would write in capital letters microbiome in my notes. As I take notes with clients, I always write in capital letters what are the big root pieces that I think we'll need to address at some point. And the microbiome is one that we address. And I can tie and link back to just about everybody's health conditions. I don't think there's one single person who hasn't gotten a piece to look after the microbiome along the way. Yeah, it's that important. It's just that forgotten organ that lives and communicates with so many different processes in the body and has a role to play in everything, like all of the things. I think your microbiome does your dishes for you if you ask it. That's how important it is. Okay, great. How many times did you say yes? Do you want to shift things in your microbiome? No, Luca, I like it how it is. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye. No, I'm kidding. How long have you been struggling with these issues? How long has insomnia been around? Or fill in the blank with whatever you said yes to, the blood sugar balance issue. How long have you been working at trying to get at the root of why you have IBS? How long have you been working hard at figuring out the autoimmune issue or the fact that you have blood sugar troubles? How long have you been trying to figure it out? And how's it going for you? Are you getting the answers and are you seeing the changes that you need and that you're hoping to see? If you need some help and if you're tired of doing the digging and finding the answers for yourself, this is where I think the Good Food Network, I know, in fact, the Good Food Network will be a place for you, especially if you are tired and done with having to figure things out for yourself. You don't have to do any more research. Everything is under one roof in this Good Food Network. It's something that I built. I've been running it now. We're in the third year of the Good Food Network. I've had a few people who've been there right from the get-go, who continue to stick around and who share with me that It's so nice. I feel like I'm revisiting the same topics all the time, but every time there's something new that I glean. And the repetition of some of the to-do pieces that you share, Luca, really start to hammer in, okay, I'm noticing now how differently I move through each season based on so many of those concepts we cover in the Good Food Network. And right when it's time to bring it back in, whoop, there you are reminding me to bring it back in. So I don't have to do that thinking. I do the mental load so that you don't. This is what clients are telling me, people who've been in the Good Food Network for a while. So we do lots in the Good Food Network. It's a self-help kind of place. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop that is affordable, that will necessitate you sitting down, getting to work, and light a fire under your butt to get the to-do pieces in line, then I got something for you. Let me show you what we do in the Good Food Network. This is going to serve two reasons. Number one, a peek behind the scenes for anybody who's curious how this works. Number two, an orientation for those people who have now gone, oh, I need to join the Good Food Network, don't I? Yeah, come, let's take a peek around, shall we? Okay, we're going to hop out to the website. Okay, first things first. Anybody who wants to sign into the network, you go to my website, lucasimmons.com. Any page will have this button on the bottom left. Log into Client Hub here. That's where you're going to log in. And once you're logged in, this is where it takes you. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to maximize because I think that works a little bit better. This is what it looks like from your point of view. So this simplify things here. There we go. When you log in, here it is. And I'll tell you, usually right from that home page, you'll see it right there, GF Network, Good Food Network. You can also find it under programs. So I like to click on programs because that menu is usually always on the left. Depending on how big your window is on your computer, sometimes the other parts tend to move around and you can feel like you're getting lost a bit. So always use that menu on the left, Good Food Network. Click on GF Network and you access the network tout de suite. Here it is. We've got a little menu here on the left, and you've got all of the modules listed here. So we've got a couple of different sections. The Start Here section is where you'll start. And then we go into the pre-recorded content. We've got live content in the network, and we've got written content. So I'm going to take you through what each of these sections will show you and showcase what it is that you can access, just as that behind the scenes peek kind of thing. So here in this Start Here section, it's kind of the get your bearings section, if you will. So there's a video here in the module called Start Here Kitten. To access the module, you just have to click on this button here, or you can click on the title. It doesn't matter. You'll be able to see it either which way. So welcome. Oh, look, it's me. It'll put your name in here. It's like it knows who you are. Here, there's another video that can give you a little bit of a rundown on how to find the different parts in the network. This gives you the replay of today's orientation call. So the thing I'm recording right now is now happening right now. And so this will be in here as well. The replay you can access right there. And then down here, we've got the different parts. So it breaks down what you can expect in each of the sections. Like I said, we've got those live sessions where it happens in live time. There's a replay for each of those. There's also a series of pre-recorded modules, so on-demand kind of things that are ready for you. So think of this as like your streaming service. And then we've got some written content, which is exactly what it is. It's written content you can print, and then that's it. So once you finish this, I've already done it, but you would have a button up here that says Mark Completed. So once you finish a module and you know you don't want to go back to it, you can click on that Mark Completed button. I'll show you where it is here in the schedule and checklist. So I always recommend this as the perfect place to start at the beginning of each and every month, whether it's the first month you're in the network or subsequent months. When you click on the schedule and checklist, this is going to give you all of those pieces so you can maximize the Good Food Network for the month ahead. So it gives you the schedule for December 2024. This is what it looks like. This is the schedule of only the live content. So this is the stuff that has a timestamp attached to it. You can join us for any of these that you wish, and then I'll be posting the replay link, and I'll show you where that is in a minute. So these are your potential spots where you can join in live. And when you join in live, you get to ask all the questions you want. So we do a weekly session on Thursday mornings, and once a month we do this live class. And this month's live class is on fermented foods. You know what's missing in here is the orientation call, which is right there. So it's already happened. Too bad. So here you can download to your computer and print it from your downloads folder. Below that, we've got the checklist for the month. So the checklist is one of those utilitarian kind of things. You might want it, you might not. But I'll tell you, I really like this for a couple of different reasons. Because the Good Food Network, when you first join, can feel a little bit overwhelming or feel like there's a lot of moving parts, this can help you prioritize what it is you're going to want to use from the network and what you will want to access. It also serves as a perfect spot to scratch things out that you don't even want to do. I always use this analogy. You know, we have a family of 9 in our hometown of Calgary. When we go for Chinese takeout to a buffet place, for example, the 9 of us will each go up and build our own plate. Some of us will go once, some of us will go twice. The children will go 5 times for the little bowls of jello, and they will love it. And the grown-ups will love that somebody else is making dinner and cleaning the dishes. But would you not agree that each and every person sitting at that table will have a different plate? Everybody builds a different plate, yeah? So there's that, and not one single person is going and taking everything off the buffet and putting it on their plate for themselves. Nobody is. Everybody picks and chooses what it is that they'll want to bring into their life. So it's the same thing with the Good Food Network. So I encourage you to start here. When you've got this printed up, this serves as a couple of different things. You can use this space on the left to prioritize in the order that you may want to address or that you might want to dive into. It gives you each and every single little piece that you can do. Once you've done it, you can check mark and put a little check mark in. So it's like that completion feeling. It feels like you've done it. And anything you don't want to do, I'll tell you, just scratch it out. I don't want to do the weekly challenge, Luca. Okay, scratch it out. I've already done the winter piece, Luca. I don't need to do it. Okay, scratch it off. Ooh, I do want to do the fermented foods class. This is going to be the most important one that I'm going to attend. This is December 15th, not November 13th. I will go in and change that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is going to have all of those different components so you can prioritize what it is that you will want to address. And again, you'll download to your computer, print it from there. Every month, I also share a worksheet. So this serves as the one-page cheat sheet where you're going to put all of your to-do pieces. So in this, we've got main goals for the month. We've got action items about food and action items about lifestyle and other ideas. So for example, we're doing the microbiome this month. What are your main goals? What do you want to address? What do you want to work at? Or how do you know this is showing up in your body? You know the list of things I just went through and you said yes? This is where you write it down. Well, I want to reduce that meat baby. Well, I want to get better energy. I'm working on my microbiome because, let me look, I have skin issues and I have insomnia and I want to resolve them. So if you write down what your main goals are, when you come back to revisit this in the months to come, you're going to know why the microbiome is so important. It's going to start to make it yours. This is how you make the content yours in the Good Food Network. So start by jotting down what are your main goals this month. Now, as you go through each of the sessions, whether they're the live ones, whether they're the recorded ones, or maybe the printed ones, from there, at each turn in each session, I always give you to-do pieces, like the homework, the action steps, the actionable steps, if you will. So for example, we're doing a class on fermented foods later on this month. So part of it might be, all right, well, your homework now is to bring in fermented foods. Go buy one. So action items regarding food, go buy sauerkraut and start adding it in slowly. That's where you jot that down. Another piece we'll be talking about in this week's session, actually, the live session this week, we're going to be talking about how digestion and microbiome are tied. One of those pieces that we talk about is this idea of making meat stock and why meat stock is so important to help improve digestion and support your microbiome. So here you might say, start making meat stock. Of course, there'll be recipes that you can find everywhere to get in on that meat stock action, and you'll jot these down. And then at the end of the month, every time you've checked into a class, you've written down an actionable piece that refers to you and is applicable to you and your condition and whatever's going on in your life. And so you've got this one-page cheat sheet that now has all of your homework on it. So again, download this one, get it printed, and make it live right next to where you're going to be sitting down and attending to the content of the network, because you're going to be using it at each turn in each of the sessions. Once you have printed these, I'm going to encourage you, see this button mark completed, top right, go ahead and click that guy. Confirm, mark completed, then go back to your program and look, it says completed. So now you know next time you log in, I've already looked at this module. I don't have to check it again. Well, you can view it again if you want to, but you know you've already gone in to do it. So next time when you log in, you'll be like, oh, what did I want to do? Well, my first piece was I want to do that live class. So Lucas said the live class is happening on December 15th, I think is the date. So here, where is it? Oh, here it is. This is the class, fermented foods. Oh, how is this class for me? I'm going to go through the content, ask myself these questions, and then on December 18th, I'm going to join live, or I'm going to then watch the replay. Once the class has happened, your replay is going to be available down here once the class has run. Below that, there'll be handouts and recipes and some extras as well. So that's how you can use that worksheet and the checklist and the schedule in order to get the most use out of the network as possible. The other thing that I would recommend is for people who are just new to the network, choose the certain time of the week where you'll always be checking in. If you know that Fridays are yours and you don't have to go to work on Fridays, and it's your day to catch up on things around the house or things in your own life, this is where on Fridays, you're going to dedicate an hour a week. If you put in an hour of work into the Good Food Network every month, you're going to get your money's worth and then some. Even if you do 1 hour a month, you actually get your money's worth from the Good Food Network, because there is so much content that you can ingest in the Good Food Network. The reason the price is so low is because I'm not cheerleading you along. You are your own cheerleader and you're building your own to-do list. A big part of what I do with clients is that I build their worksheet for them. So the price point here is excellent for anybody who's contemplated wanting to work one-on-one and may need more support, but isn't ready or isn't able to afford that price point. The Good Food Network is perfect for you. Or for anybody who's been a client before and needs a revisit and wants to do some of the work that we talked about before and needs some help. This is where you'll get into it. Okay, let's dive into the 3 different sections. So except for that start here piece, which I think is great, you're going to see different things there. If you have any questions about your network subscription, you'll be able to access all those questions and answers in there. Now we've got sections. So there you've got your pre-recorded content, you've got your live sessions, and you've got your written content. When you first join the network, start with the written content because you're going to knock it out in 5 seconds flat. So here, every month we have recipes. So this month's recipes, we've got braised cabbage, tortilla pie, pumpkin protein pancakes, refried beans with red peppers, and applesauce. So everything except the refried beans is low histamine, has a low histamine alternative for anybody who needs low histamine. So it's applicable to everybody except that refried beans piece. So hang on to that recipe until you've done the work to address your histamine stuff. But here you can view it, you can download to your computer so that you can print it from your downloads folder. And then once you've printed them all, what are you going to do? Oh, click on mark completed. Bing bong, knocked it out, already did a thing on my checklist. Go ahead and scratch it out on your checklist. Once you go back to the program, scroll down again to those written content pieces. Look at that, completed. Now, in addition, every week in December, every month actually, we do a good food challenge. So I talk about it in the chat. There's a group chat that we have to the group. So I'll show you where that is in a minute. But there's also a whole module dedicated to this. And we talk about a specific food that is going to be supportive to your potential, whatever the main topic is. So this month we're doing microbiome, so raw carrots. Raw carrots are great for many different reasons. In the Good Food Network, I give you ways to think about bringing in carrots to your meals. So giving you a bunch of ideas on things to maybe think about. And the earlier stuff here, we did mushrooms up until Monday. So here we had different ways to think about incorporating mushrooms into your regimen and why they're so delightful. So this is another one that's easy to knock out of the park and takes you maybe 5 minutes once a week to dip in and see what is the weekly Good Food Challenge. The most recent one will always be at the top, and then I bump them down to the bottom of the page. So you can always revisit anything else from that month if you missed a week somewhere in there. We also have a module here called Eating with the Seasons. So there's a brand new one for anybody in the network who's been there for a while. We just shifted into the winter season. So this is the season, the Hygge season. Well, I like to call it the gezellig season, which is a very Netherlands type of term. And it means the same thing, cozy, inviting, warm, friendly, calming, that sort of thing. So every season we switch things up to give you ways to think about eating according to the seasons. When it comes to the microbiome, friend, eating seasonally is one of the secret pieces that is a gentle builder to your microbiome. Matching what it is you're eating to what's happening outside is the surefire, super unsexy, but works like a charm piece to building your microbiome. So if you're looking to build your microbiome, make sure you're going to check the winter season bundle. You've got a recipe bundle and you've got a handout with ideas on how to move through this season as well. This is where you may see some of those more lifestyle type ideas. So for example, this is the handout that goes with the winter season. We've got all kinds of foods that would be available in the winter season in the Northern Hemisphere typically. And foods coming from far away, like kiwi, obviously, and avocado. Excuse me. We talk about which organs are the organs of the season as well. So kidneys, along with the adrenals and the bones associated with the kidneys as well. So these are a big part of what we can focus on for the winter season. Main energy for the season. This might give you things to think about in how to move through the season. And then at the end here, I've got 5 ways to think about how to move through the winter season when it comes to food and lifestyle ideas. So for example here, kidneys are the epicenter of fear. Fear turns on the stress response, the fight or flight response, which now calls on the adrenals to step up. The flip side of fear is courage. Could you seek support to help you move through emotions and call on your courage? Connect if you need support with that piece. You never need to find resources on your own. I will always do that for you. So this is just one of those ideas on how to move through this season. Winter is associated with water. Could you seek the energetics within yourself? Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, Epsom salt foot soaks. Then you go, oh, I like the Epsom salt foot soak. Under your worksheet, under the lifestyle ideas, you put Epsom salt foot soak. Good idea. And then once you've done this one, make sure you click on Mark Completed. If you don't want to click on Mark Completed, you just hit back on your browser button. It takes you right back to your program. So we've done the 3 components here under written content. So now I've got 2 more spots I want to show you. We've got pre-recorded content. Think of it as on demand. And then we've got the live sessions. So first off, this is available to you the second you sign up. We've got a new module every 2 months. This is Building Your Food as Medicine Toolkit. So this is helping you put some of those pieces in place. It's a 38-minute module that's going to tell you all of those pieces to build a foundational food as medicine toolkit. What are those foods that do repair? Remember at the start, I was talking about how, is your list of foods you can't tolerate getting longer? Okay, you're taking the foods out. Great. Yeah. Are you including the foods that do repair? That's what this module is about. These are the foods that do the repair in order to be able to bring those foods back in after the fact. So if you are looking at how does food help me build and repair the body? How do I do gut repair? How do I address my immune system? How do I look to food to help calm and soothe everything so that everything works better, this is your module. Make sure you make time for this one this month. It will be available for 2 months. It will be there for, this is the second month of it. So at the end of December, it's gone. Yeah. And you've got some extras in there where you can get more things. Oh, look, there's a handout as well, of course. So this pertains to some of the content in the class. So make sure you watch this before it disappears on January 1st. And then once you've watched it, click on Mark Completed. Woo, that always feels so good. Back to the program. All right, that was in the pre-recorded content. So there it is, completed. Now we also have the Vitality Gut class. These classes I used to run at the Light Cellar in the northwest of Calgary, and they were 2 to 3 hour long classes where we dove deep into the biochemistry, what's going on in the gut, how to know you have gut issues, and what to do to mend the gut. This is how you get started. This class by itself is $60. In the network, you get it as part of your membership. The deal is, though, it disappears at the end of December. So you have to enter the network and come watch it before it disappears. It's one of the foundational 4 when it comes to reducing inflammation and really getting to the root of what's driving the stress response in the body. So we've got lots of stuff that's covered in here, more recipes even again, and lots of extras that we name check in the class. So make sure you make time for this. If you're in the network this month and you didn't get a chance to watch it last month, this is a foundational one that will really help you understand a little bit more how the gut has a part to play in so many other things in the body, and why when you look after the gut, you will now be supporting the microbiome as well. So make sure you make time for that vitality class. There's one last class in that pre-recorded content I wanted to show you. This is the scratch cooking class. So this is a 90-minute class that we did a while back, my kiddo and we had such a riot doing it. We recorded them at the time, it was at the start of the pandemic when everybody was locked indoors. And we got together every Friday for 10 Fridays in a row, recorded them, and then I put it together. And so this is what you get. It's a Vietnamese takeout, fake out class. And we're doing the Vietnamese bun, which is the noodle bowl. We've got other recipes in here as well. You've got lots of different things. Once you've got, let me show you something first. Okay, printouts at the bottom, your grocery list and the recipes. So print both up, go get your groceries. And then once you've got everything set up, you'll see this in the cooking class. We've got all of the things to pick up at the grocery store. And then I've got a list of all of your tools and equipment you'll need so you can set everything up. And once you've got all of this set up, then you come and join us. You set your computer in your kitchen and you just press play. And this class is a riot. My kiddo and I had such a fun time doing it. My husband was in the background with the dog and a good pal sometimes, where they were fielding a lot of the questions. We had about 70 people with us going through the content. And she cute. So make sure you make some time for this. This was originally aimed at the junior high kids. So if you've got junior high kids in your life or kiddos on visit from college or something, university, make sure you make some time and catch these classes together. Okay, that's the pre-recorded content. That means watch it whenever you want. The live sessions mean they're happening live and they'll always have the replay available afterwards. We've got 2 to choose from. Those Thursday morning sessions called Food is Medicine. And then we've got 1 live class and it's on fermented foods this month. So those Thursday morning sessions, I've got them all running here. These are the sessions we'll be doing this month. 3 ways your microbiome helps digestion is happening this Thursday. We're doing the microbiome and brain connection the following Thursday. When ferments don't sit well, what's going on and what to do about it. And then that last Thursday of the month, we'll be doing one on microbiome and blood sugar balance. Now, because it is the holiday season, and I'm pretty sure nobody will join me, and I have my daughter visiting, this one is actually going to be pre-recorded, but it will be released that day. So it's the same as always. It won't look any different for anybody in the network, but it will be available for sure. So these are the 4 dates. And once we've got a session ready, it gets dropped up here, always the latest session up top, and they get bumped down as the weeks go by. So the information on what the sessions are and those replays are found in these live modules here. So that was the food is medicine. That's our Thursday morning thing. The other live class we do is once a month. We do a 90 to 120-minute class. This month we're doing one on fermented foods, the how and the why. So this is everything we're going to be doing in the class. And then, is this class for you? So you can ask yourself these questions. Are you eager to tap into ancestral wisdom for some of this modern health business we're hoping to get? Are you looking to support digestion and support your microbiome? Do you want some guidance on how to incorporate ferments safely and effectively? Yeah, less is more in this case, actually. Are you uncertain if ferments are the right fit for you and you want to know what to watch for? Or are you interested in learning the basics of starting your own fermentation journey? These are all valid. If you said yes to any of these are all reasons you may want to check this class out. So we're doing it on Wednesday, December 18th at 9 a.m. For those who are in the network, you'll get access to this class for free. I do make this class available on its own. It's 25 on its own. The network entirely is 35 as a total. So if there's more than one piece you've been wanting to do, consider joining us in the network. There's a lot more at your fingertips, and you'll be able to build it to be exactly what it is that you want and what you can tolerate, what you can handle in terms of workload. And then the replay is below here. And then once you've watched it, again, make sure you click on Mark Completed. So those are all the different components. So again, there's that start here, all the sort of businessy things and the getting yourself acquainted with how it works. Then we've got the pre-recorded content, which means on demand, which means access whenever you want. The live sessions, which are tied to a time. Replays will be found in those live modules as well. And the written content. Those are the three different types of content you get in the Good Food Network. There is a sneaky fourth. Give me 1 second to do this. And I think it works this way. Yep, we've got it. I'm actually going to do it another way. So under here, you've got the chat function. So there is a group chat in the network where everybody who's in the network will have access to it. There's another way to access it. You can click on this chat button up top and you'll see it up here. You'll see you can send me a direct message if you wish, or you can write one down in the Good Food Network if you've got a question. I'll tell you, if you're in the network, I'd encourage you to actually put it, if you're okay to share some of the content, put it here. Because if you've got that question, somebody else does too. So sometimes people write questions. I love it. But most often they send me just a personal question. That's absolutely fine. These are just examples where I pretend that I'm writing a question. Luca, I have a question about my microbiome. I have profuse diarrhea, and the things I've done in the class so far are not helping. I need some help to address this right away. So then we can deal with that. That is certainly something you don't want to share in a group. But in the group, here is where you'll be able to see all of these different chats where people have written in, but most of it is me. Every time I add something to the network, I drop a word in the chat. So a good practice is every time you log into the network, go to the chat to see what's new. So for example, raw carrots this week, that's the Good Food Challenge for the week. So this gives you information to tell you that it's available in the module and why it's going to be good. So some people want to know a little bit more details. Some just want to know, oh yeah, raw carrots. Okay, I'll add raw carrots this week. And then when I posted some new content on the 1st, then I put a word in the chat to let everyone know. Every Friday, I also drop an extra component, an extra reading or podcast or something of interest for the weekend ahead for anybody who's looking for more information. So this is typically the stuff I pull together for these is based on the questions that come in from those in the network. So I've had quite a few folks in a couple of different ways actually get in touch and say, hey, can you help me with SIBO? So I wanted to drop some information about SIBO in here because that is absolutely a microbiome issue. So there's a little bit of extra stuff in here. So every time we do a live session, I let you know there's another live session coming. Make sure you join us. And once it's ready, I always put in the comments here, the replay is now posted, dig in. And you'll know where to find that. It tells you right in here. So you can scroll through. There's lots and lots of content through here. You can take a peek through. I usually keep everything in here for 2 or 3 months. And then, yeah, so you'll find lots of good content in there. So make sure you use the chat function. That's up here in this little chat bubble. Now, just to give you a lowdown of where you're going to find some of those Zoom links when there's a live session, you've got two possible spots. So once you come back to the home page, and I got here by just clicking on the logo top left, that always takes you right to your home page. If you get lost, this is the best way to do it. Click on this, it'll take you to your home page. And you'll see these different boxes. These are called widgets. So in this widget here, you've got upcoming sessions. These are just the live sessions. So for example, here's the orientation call. When you want to join, you click on that little camera icon. And that'll get you right into the Zoom room, if you will, to join us live. Here's that live class happening Wednesday, December 18th. When comes the time, it should be bumped up to the top of this list of sessions. And you just have to click on the little camera icon. Now, I'll give you a little hint as well. This will tell you in your local time. The hub figures out where you are and adjusts the time so that it is reflective of where you are. So rely on this. See here, it says 5 p.m. where I am. It's 9 a.m. in Alberta, where most of the people in the network are. So this would say 9 a.m. for you. Those Thursday morning sessions are there and what have you. So those are good to know. And again, accessing the network either through programs here or through the GoodFood Network. I'll tell you, you can't make anything disappear. So don't be afraid to poke around and take a look around to see what's happening and to find the different pieces. The live sessions you can find through here as well. The overview tells you about what the GoodFood Network is about. The My Progress will help you know where you are. You can fart around and see what there is. If you're like, I'm not going to do this one, I'm just going to mark it completed. Go ahead and mark it completed. Do you, boo? So these are all the different moving parts of the GoodFood Network. Now, for anybody who's still hanging out and is like, I want to join the GoodFood Network, I'm going to drop a link to the how to join us below. And this is where it's going to take you. I'm going to give you this because it's got everything in under one roof. So here, if you don't want to read, if reading gets too overwhelming for you, I've done a video where I go through the content, so you'll be able to listen to it if you prefer to have somebody take you through it and read it for you. This tells you exactly what the GoodFood Network is all about. You can register right here. That'll take you exactly to where you need to go. This tells you a little bit more of what are the different moving parts of the GoodFood Network if you need a review. And then this gives you the orientation session as well. The one we're doing right now will be updated here in the next hour after we wrap up. But I want to highlight these two sections. How do I know if the GoodFood Network might be a good fit for me? So take yourself through these questions first. This network is for you if you, and go through all of these. This is going to help you know. And if you say yes to any of these, then the GoodFood Network is going to be for you. And keep scrolling. How do I know if the GoodFood Network might not be right for me at this time? This is going to give you more ideas and more questions to ask yourself. And if you say yes to any of these, then it's very clear that the network might not be right for you at this time. Here's the cost. It's 35 Canadian dollars a month, billed monthly on the same day you originally joined. When you're ready to join, you can click here. This is everything that is included in the GoodFood Network in your subscription. It is a subscription, so you get billed every month until you tell me you want out. And there's instructions on how to do this. I will tell you there's a 7-day trial, free trial period. So anybody and everybody can take the GoodFood Network for a spin for a week. At the end of the week, they can print everything and have watched everything and say, I don't want it, Luca, and I'll reimburse you 100%. Yep. Yeah, it means I'm going to be out 10 bucks. I don't care because I have to pay fees for these kinds of things. I don't care. I don't think you'll leave. I've yet to have anybody leave at the end of 7 days. So do it for a 7-day free trial period. There's instructions on how to leave. So you'll find it here. You'll find it in the network in that About My Network subscription part. So you can take it where there's no, you could just take it for a spin by yourself. Yeah, okay, that's it. So it's all in here. And then you've got buttons to join the GoodFood Network all along. So you'll be able to find that. I'm going to drop this link right below the video that you are currently watching. because I like to make things easy. And that's it for what you can expect in the Good Food Network over the course of December. Again, we're diving deep, doing all of these different pieces of how the microbiome impacts all of these different functions in the body. Again, this month we're talking about the nervous system in particular. We're also talking about digestion. We'll be talking about some of the blood sugar balancing issues that can happen when there's microbiome issues. And every turn, we're going to be giving you solutions to put in place. So you're going to build your to-do list from the pieces that we address and talk about in this Good Food Network. Are you ready to feel better? Do you want to join us? I sure look forward to seeing you in there. And make sure you come to some of the live stuff. I think after a while, people just go to the replay stuff, and that's cool. There's not that much live stuff. There's only one session a week, except the middle of the month, there's two. But that's where you can ask the questions, and that's where we can get a lot of clarification about what it is that you've got on the go for yourself. Little tip. In the meantime, I wish for you a delightful rest of December. And I thank you for watching this and look forward to seeing you in the Good Food Network. Take care. Salut, à bientôt.